In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this gorgeous Christmas lights sweater. So we're just going to add these beautiful little Christmas light effects using your Pixie&Me kit. So first we're going to start by cutting around the name that's included into your DIY kit. And once we've done that, we can then take the backing off the stick and stitch and stick it to your garment. Now to find your central point on your sweater, you can of course use a ruler or you can count the rows either side of your letters. And once you're happy, you're going to stick your stick and stitch down, making sure that there's no creases or any rolled pieces on the ends. And then we're going to take our fabric marker from our kit. So you give it a little shake to get it started if it's a new pen. And you're just going to draw on your lines. Now you can do this however you like. You can put in as many swirly parts. I'm just going to put one little swirl and connect it to the A. And I'm just going to do this either side. And you might need to just do it over a couple of times to make that pen nice and bold. So we're going to start by threading onto our needle a good generous armful of whichever color yarn you're going to use for your base. So for me, I'm going to use green and we're going to stitch the whole name in this color. I'm going to bring my needle up from my starting point, making sure to leave a tail underneath to tie off to. And then I'm going to move the garment in the way that I'm going to be stitching, so that I find that's a lot easier to do. So we're going to start with the chain stitch. I'm going to take my needle back down through the hole that I just came up from, leaving a space of about 1 centimeter. I'm going to take this piece of yarn and wrap it around and then pull that needle through. Now I do find that using my thumb here as a bit of a guide helps keep my chain in place, so I'm just going to hold that down. And there's your first chain. So we're then going to repeat that process. Take your needle down that chain and bring it up about 1 centimeter in space, wrap your yarn around and pull through, remembering to use your thumb as a bit of a guide to hold it in place. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to take our needle through the chain, bring it up about 1 centimeter in space, wrap your yarn around and pull that through. Now you don't want to make your chains too big, so around 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter is about right. If you make your chains too big, you're going to make your sweater look really saggy, and that's not going to be a nice clean look. Ultimately, you don't want to go too tiny with your chain stitches, otherwise it'll be really, really tight. So we're just going to continue like this all the way around, following your fabric markings until we have completed our whole name. Now we've reached a bit of an end point, I'm just going to show you how we tie off. So we're going to take our threaded needle and we're just going to weave it through 5 or 6 times through our work. And this is going to leave you with a nice clean back. So we're just going to take it through our work a few times. And then you can, if you want, at the end, if you're a little bit OCD like me, you can add just a little knot there, or you can just snip away, that's fine. It is very unlikely to come undone, but you can just pop a tiny little knot here as well and just snip away the excess. Now this is optional, but the font that we've used here is not connected. So I want my letters to connect, so I've just gone ahead and popped a little chain stitch in there to bring those letters together. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but I just think it makes it look that little bit better. So now that we've finished our chain stitch and we're all tied off, it's time to add our Christmas lights. So I'm just going to pop just about 1/2 meter of red yarn onto my needle. You can start with whichever color you like. And we're just going to go in and use our fabric marker and mark where we want to put our lights. So you can put them as many as you like in. I'm just going to pop them very sporadically around. I don't want too many, but I want to use 3 colors. So we're going to start here at the top with our red. So I'm going to bring my needle up to my starting point. And again, this is very similar to the chain stitch. We're going to leave our tail underneath to tie off to. We're going to take our needle back down through our hole that we just came up from. And we're going to go up again about 1 to 1.5 centimeters. Wrap your yarn around and use your thumb as a guide and just gently bring that in. And we're just going to anchor that down now with a stitch over the top. And once we've pulled that through, we can then fill in that little light by bringing our needle up from our starting point again. And we're just going to do a little straight stitch through the middle to just fill in that area. And you can go ahead and use the back end of your needle just to fluff that out a little bit and give it more of a light shape. Now the next red light that I want to put in is going to be down here. Now to bring my needle across, I'm going to have to weave it through my work so that I don't have any tension. So we're just going to take the threaded needle and we're just going to weave through our work to bring our needle to our point where we want to put our next light. And once we're there, we're just going to go in and repeat the same process that we did before. And now that we've put those two in, we're just going to do our weave again and we're going to bring those two tails back together. You can of course pop a knot in at each end, but if you want to have a little less knots, then this is the perfect technique. So we're just going to weave that together, and now these are nicely side by side. We can snip that away and we can tie these together in a triple knot. And that is the start of our Christmas lights. So you're just going to repeat this process, but using different colors and popping them in wherever you like. And remember to tie off just as we did before. And that is your gorgeous Christmas light sweater finished. Now, of course, you just need to remove your stabilizer. We have lots of videos on how to do this on our YouTube channel. But once you're finished, you can then flat lay to dry and enjoy. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is such a fun one to make, and happy stitching.